you just be careful of this last So in 1932, when the station closed, they also removed the lifts. So when the Railway Executive Committee moved in here, they had to have a new lift made. So this is built in the air vent of this stairwell, and you can still see the original signage to the street there. And behind me, again, we've got some indications of some signage which is rapidly peeling off to landing, to offices, indication of numbers for offices. And then it's interesting to see above the door, we can see a keystone. And this is a keystone that is key to Leslie Green's architecture. It's very familiar that we see this. But what we have here is the extra emergency exit that is not seen on other Leslie Green stations. So this is the one that delayed the opening of the station by 3 months by building this, because they were asked that they needed to build an extra emergency exit because the corridors were so long. So we're now going to go down to see those corridors, and we're being welcomed by the sound of typing. So we'll go and discover what that's all about.
Where we are. Well, you might not too young to have a typing port, but there we go. The noise we think in here probably was about 3 or 4 times louder than that. There were 40 people working down here, 8 of the ladies. We think most of them worked in the typing pool area, secretaries. We know at least one worked with clefness. So what I had to do is convert these into offices. So the first thing you want is a flat floor, isn't it? So your coffee doesn't roll off your table, etc. Because these are corridors. You can see how much the slope is. Because if you look at the height of tiling there, and the height there, all right, and there's 2 steps at the end. So one of the clues we had in this station is we know things that weren't here originally. A lot of it is these sort of floor areas which show where they put an office in. And in this case, the other thing we can tell is there's these lovely sort of gouge marks along the top of ceiling, that's where the wall went in, to give you a corridor. So that's how you got these corridors. They were 2 foot wide or narrow, depending on how you look at it. I'm assured you can just get your tea trolley down there as well. It was important in those days to get around. And you'll see they didn't want the top, this is left tiled. But in the offices, they obviously felt the tiling wasn't, I suppose, welcoming, formal. And you'll see all round it's been plastered. Plastered over the tiling, and then this yellow paint. And I'm sure this yellow paint was similar to that of more capital room, so perhaps the government organised 80 tonnes of yellow paint. We could also tell they put false roofs across. If you look at particularly clear over there, you can see where the yellow paint goes up to. And that's where a roof would come across. They had air conditioning in this building. One of the first offices in London, we think, to get air conditioning. You get some feeling about what people thought about this place. The chap called Cole Deacon is very important. The plans were lodged with Westminster Council. I presume it was a sort of safety thing they had to do. Who promptly said, "Whoopee, you can pay us property tax." And Cole Deacon's response to this was, "This subterranean cellar, subject as noise of every passing train for some 20 out of 24 hours, it ran throughout the whole second wall of the tube system. Per day would be valueless property, circumstances under the wall." And I think just to avoid, getting too much publicity, because this place was supposed to be secret, they caved in and they paid them a princely sum of £100 a year, which I suppose was quite a bit then, I'm not sure. You're getting copies of these plans. One of the big things they were petrified about in the Second World War was gas attacks, because they've seen them in the First World War. And this place was fitted with gas locks. One of the gas locks, 2 walls were built across the corner here and to there. And when you get your plate, you look at it, you'll notice at various points they built other gas locks. So they could keep the air up in here with the ventilation system as well. They did some reinforcement work. There's some sound insulation put in down here, which disappeared now. But we reckon it probably didn't make a lot of difference to the noise.
So we're now in the committee room, and this is where the table would have been, and it's this grand table here. One thing I should mention is that most of the furniture was probably brought down the stairs that we've just come down by hand. So there's a massive table, and we've got these big chairs as well that we see were used throughout the station. And they came from, many of them came from the railway hotels, such as Charing Cross. So it was fitted out by one of the wagon works department of the London, Midland and Scottish Railways. So they were very accustomed to fitting out these rooms very, very well, but the big furniture did come from the station hotels. So along this surroundings committee room, all gentlemen we see, there are 3 bigwigs. We have Mr. Pick, Frank Pick, who was the Deputy General of the London Underground. And we have Ralph Wedgwood, and we have Sir Gerald Deacon, who again, Cole Deacon, who will become big names that we hear of throughout here. So the railway executive committees worked with London Transport as all part of it, so that's why Frank Pick is here as well. But these are propaganda posters saying to the public, you know, do not use our trains because we are taking these trains so if you look at the far one, it says they're taking, keep the trains clear because they need to take the munitions across the country, guns. And this one here is, surely, now that our men have landed on enemy soil, you will not block the view, the use of the trains. So that's the idea of that one there. So just to get, and these are original posters that were produced by the Railway Executive Committee, copies of original ones. So we now, after a day of working around this table, you do need to have a few breaks, and one of those breaks is to spend a penny. And I think Eric's going to enlighten us on how this happened and show you the area where this happened.
What you're going to find is, of course, there's quite a social class divide down here. You've got people like Sir Ralph Wedgwood. Most of these guys here would have been very senior, high in society sort of characters. So you'll find little signs as we go around which tells you you're in the area of the executive division. Unfortunately, you can't see the full splendour of the laboratories, etc. they used and were set up for them, and they were built in that emergency escape passageway. There is up there a very nice photograph in the first room you get to of the ladies' bathroom, because the ladies and executive used bathrooms up here. For some reason, nothing's Wedgwood up there, it's all Dalton. So you missed a trick there, I think. And the other thing we had, Cole Deacon's great because he wrote lots of letters and information from Cole Deacon. And we particularly love the one where he ordered monogrammed red towels from Harrods. So there's a feeling, that you might be stuck down here as an executive, but you're at least going to be treated as a high-class citizen. Let's be fair, of course, we're talking about being a Second World War. I don't think we're free of class yet, but you certainly had very strong class in those days, and they would have expected to be treated differently. I don't think Mr. Deacon would have got away with not treating them differently. There's one every beginning of the Second World War. So the sample on the head in this version.
Back on the road again.
It was a lot wetter before we put that flooring stuff down.
Oh, okay.